Everybody said only one single line. Why did you choose police as an option? It is not suitable. It's not good. People think very bad about police. There's nothing to do. And it is an only exhibition of power, and that too in a very nasty way. Society is expecting the girls to mellow down rather than boys to change. Those were the days where caste system was very, very rigid in the villages.
AI faking our voices or even deep faking our photos. What do you have to say about this?
That's a peril which we have to face. Leave the deep fake. I'm not even aware of my rights properly. When I go to vote, I'm being bought with money. Where I can protect my money as a taxpayer, where I can protect my own integrity as a citizen of a particular country. I wasn't there when my mother entered into coma. I was somewhere very, very far on my duty. Mother suffered a severe heart attack and she entered into coma.
I'm so honored to have Inspector General of Intelligence with me today. You know, when we see someone in uniform, especially of your rank, we think about tough, unshakable. But you're also a mother, and you are someone who really cares about women. I really look forward to bridge the gap today. I welcome IPS Sumiti Badagula on my podcast, All That She Wants. Thank you so much for your valuable time, ma'am. And you really made it special by starting this episode in this new year.
Thank you, and even I'm honored that I'm talking to a woman who is very passionate.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. In a snippet, if you can take us through your journey from childhood to being a cop today.
It's as simple as like any other normal girl.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do come from a very small village on the banks of River Tungabhadra, and my area lies between Krishna and Tungabhadra. It is popularly called as Nadigadda. I mean, the central fertile land. It's all black soils. My father did own good bit of land. We have four daughters and one son, and it was a big family. And the only means for him, for his village, was his lands. And I do come from such a background. And incidentally, my village is the last bordering village of Telangana, and from there, the Andhra or the Rayalaseema starts. So I'm born and brought up and education, schooling all in Kurnool, which is very adjacent. See the forethought of a mother from a tiny village where there was no school. She took a decision to make us study by putting us in a hostel way back, maybe in 82 or 83. The first CBSE school in Kurnool district, and that also is something which my mother was, I should say, she is the real leader for me in terms of being a woman who is very progressive. And yes, from a journey started from a village where there's no school, studying in a town, that too from an English, from a convent school, which is a central school in first central school in Rayalaseema. And then from there, yes, all the dreams which went along with my growth. That was the first exposure way back to people outside the family. Those were not the days when we got exposed so easily, having come up from a very rural area, that we get exposed to different communities, different surroundings, different kinds of people, different, what should I say, religions in a very close quarters. I should say that they were very, I cannot say secular, but they were very progressive in all. Then it never, I think it would not even be a thought to my mother that we are being placed in a Christian's house.
Okay.
And I was very tiny, LKG, and I was in a hostel in their house. Yes, all my fears, I think I could overcome the fact that I was separated from my mother at a very young age, and the purpose was very clear that a girl has to be educated.
How did you take that up? Like the separation from your mother? Was it very
More
easy
than
for you?
separation from my mother, because I got equal love and affection in the house where I grew. There was one very old woman who we used to call her JJ, and she used to make her pray in the night, do the candlelight service, take me to the church. And she was so confident that she filled all positive things about me, into me, that my parents are really very good. My parents are very pious, and so I have to live up to their way of living. Not that I should become that and this.
Okay.
And I think that has sown the seeds that a natural determination. Maybe after 2 3 years, my mother came back to the town. We lived in the town along with my mother. From there, yes, entire schooling went there, and intermediate in Vijayawada, then followed by agriculture degree in agriculture from SV Agricultural College, Tirupati.
Okay.
And after that, yeah, um, after that, writing civil services and state civil services, and I got into. This is a journey, but way back, that exposure out of the village, number one. Number two, getting exposed to the people which I would not have been exposed had I studied in only my town,
Correct.
within my own community. Number three, very progressive women I was around all through has made the difference in my life, because whether it was my mom, whether it was my grandmother, because my grandmother was widowed very early. She brought up her son, my father, only son, and she was like a boss in the village. And so I think all such things coupled together has made me think that the way they they discovered me, the way I see itself, I think made me think that I am meant to be. I am meant to live the dreams what my mother dreamt. I am meant to live the dreams what my grandmother meant. I mean, more empowered. The dreams which the JG who brought me up very early in 5 6 years dreamt about, what she saw me.
How does it feel to live up to their dreams?
Yeah, I feel very satisfied. I should say I am not just for so-called physical achievements, but I feel I'm an extension and a more fulfilled extension of them.
Great. If you would talk about your journey in rankings from SP to IG, how has that journey been?
Fantastic. I should say simply fantastic.
Okay.
For the reason that how I took up my journey as a child is not different from how I have taken up my journey as a police officer. Because it was human in me which always strived to be better, whether it was a child or it was a youngster or whether it is a police officer. And the human in me has been very passionate, very intent. I should say, looking at how better a woman can be in the present and the given circumstance, whichever I would have faced, the kind of relations I have seen, and the kind of qualities my parents had towards life. They did have good. When you say in terms of land, it was good. But what the income which we got from the land was, as you know, then it was not stable. Even till today, it's not stable. But they used to feed the entire village. They used to feed thousands of people, and they never gave a lot of attachment to the physical assets, whatever they had. My grandmother used to be very, very benevolent and very empathetic, I should say. And those were the days where caste system was very, very rigid in the villages.
Yes.
In 80s,
Even
90s.
now we see that, but
in a
compared
very
to-
different, in an
yes.
economic sense
Yes.
now. Then it was in a very social sense. Now, suppose you're well educated, nobody dares you take the name of your caste or make you feel that you belong to a particular caste. Though there is very subtle,
There is, yes.
even. But back then it was very social orchestration was there. And
is.
I
People
would
didn't
have
care.
told many a time when a woman comes into the house, and when she gets periods in a month, I saw women who were working, they never had pads or clothes also to use when they get the periods. Those were the days I've seen, and how empathetic my uh, mm, my grandmother used to give her such people 6 yard saris which she used so that they can use it when they get the periods. And I never understood it as a child, but as I grew up, that is a very subtle form of expression how a womanhood can be protected, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is very, very
Yes. Yes. Coming to what you have asked from my
rank.
days, rank from up to IGP, how we take our work in the initial days, how we work very hard to come to a level. If I want to be seen in a particular way, yes, anybody, if I want to be seen in a particular way in my profession, I work towards that.
Okay.
It is very difficult to put a standard for ourselves and come to that level.
Correct.
But to sustain it is much more difficult.
Yes.
I think I'm in the process of sustenance.
So, what is one biggest mistake if you have to recall from your past, and what are the lessons that you have learned from that?
I wasn't there when my mother entered into coma. I was somewhere very, very far on my duty, and my mother suffered a severe heart attack and she entered into coma. When they informed me that mm, she suffered an attack, and before that, um, and more sad was there was a brawl between me. I mean, not even a brawl, an argument between me and my mother that she wanted to serve as a sarpanch to her own village, that she has everything settled in her life and she wants to serve her village as a political leader on a small scale as a sarpanch, which I was completely against. Uh, she didn't want to discuss it further, and she went, and she was elected unanimously. And the day she was about to be sworn in as sarpanch of the village, she suffered the attack. That is the biggest thing I feel till today. Why I could not convince my mother not to take it up. I would have had my mother today had she been convinced why it is not necessary for her or for us, if it is only for the service.
Do you get tough on yourself?
I do.
You do? And does it show out like on others at home when you are tough?
Sometimes, yes.
It does.
Sometimes it is a very common human
How
emotion.
do they take it?
At large, I think they look at my intent rather than how I
That's a
actually do.
wonderful.
Most of the people, they look at my intent. I think that itself shows that I am not. It is only a sudden eruption or a sudden way of including whoever are around me. Need not be very close ones, I'm saying.
Okay.
They have always understood my intent. I think that is the only secret which worked for me to keep on going forward.
Wow. I hope this is always stays with you. Your special case could be good, bad, ugly, but why was it special for you if you have a story to share?
Yeah, I have, as a girl, many such stories. Uh, See, I was a very young girl of around 17, getting into first year undergrad, and then I was traveling in a bus, and somebody misbehaves with me when there's no light in the bus. And though I dealt with very courageously, I just used the safety pin to, in fact, hurt him, whoever was touching me. But the most embarrassing moment was the very next day I see him as very senior of my college coming down from the library was something
Oh God.
which nobody will expect.
Yes.
Yes. There are many such personal moments.
But did that change your mind for that person completely, or you thought
That
it
is on
could
the
be
negative side, but there are certain positive sides also. When I took up my first posting in Warangal, I was still not convinced because everybody said only one single line. Why did you choose police as an option? It is not suitable. It's not good. People think very bad about police. There's nothing to do. And it is an only exhibition of power, and that too in a very nasty way. Then I was, as a very commoner, I walked into one of the police stations in the night in my first posting, first police station for a night visit, as somebody who ran away from the house. And the person who was guard to the police station says, "You seem to be from a good family. Why are you loitering here?" I said, "I didn't like marriage, which my father proposed, so I came out." Then he said, "This area is not good. You come and sit inside the police station."
Okay.
And he made me sit inside the police station, offered a glass of water. He told, "You tell the details of your parents. We will inform them," and all that. And he engaged me in a very good conversation till he realized that I was the first DSP who was posted there after some time. And yes, that gave lot of confidence in me that I am into right place and right work and right way of working for the people. And that confidence drives till today. That a very common person, whether it is in the police or outside, is good. They never do harm to the others unless their own interests are protected or harmed. And in COVID, I think everybody would have seen
Yes.
how a very common person lived, wanted to live and share a moment of grief with every possible person around. Is something, and as a police officer, I headed the COVID control for the police, and I've seen how common people raised their funds, time, intent, and whatever savings they had, coming out of the fact that they also might be affected and try to help every other person.
Correct.
Give lots and lots of confidence in me that we are doing the right job, and we are the messiahs of, we are the instruments in the hands of the system where we can actually do the good and impact maximum people in a good way.
I completely agree with that. But also, during the same time, I believe they were very rude and harsh. Probably they didn't know how to handle the situation or things like that, because I had a very bad experience. My nephew was born during COVID, and it was just the delivery, and I had to rush to the hospital. In spite of me showing them this is the card and I need to be there, they didn't listen a single word to what I had to say. They're like, no, you cannot.
What is the reason? Maybe because you will get affected, that's the reason why they would have avoided you. That might be the reason. And they would have, it's not that at every level, everybody is a decision maker.
Yes.
Okay, they would have been told to
Follow
do
the
certain
guidelines,
things,
yes.
and they would have done it.
You go to hard stuff, really hard stuff, let it be intelligence, crime, reports, threats. But again, at the end of the day, when you go back home, you're a mom and a wife. How do you make that shift? And how do you, from that darkness of job, protect the happiness of your family?
It is not so opaque that it doesn't spill over, but it has to be a very conscious effort, I should say. And the only mantra I feel is you have to make things very simple.
Okay.
If if what you want on your job is similar to what you want on your job for you, for your children, for your family, is same, if it is in sync, I think there should not be much of a burden which you carry home.
Okay.
Then it will be like sharing of experiences on my job with my children, with my family. And it is a very nice thing to happen because we grow together when we share together certain things. Not the people, not about the people, but about the experience as such.
Okay.
When we meet a stressed individual, when we overcome a very challenging situation, how my mind worked, how I thought is something which you can share without telling into about the ops itself or about the work itself, about the person itself. And as the children grow, now I'm observing when they were very young, suppose I used to stop and ask when a child goes, somebody is not carrying well and all that. They used to say, "Why for you? Why are you unnecessarily telling them? They know about that."
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen incidents when my 6-year-old, when my daughter was 6-year-old, 7-year-old, when she sees somebody shouting at a woman or when there is a brawl, she used to take, remember the number and then dial 100 and tell that vehicle number. That itself shows that they are thinking in a right way, whatever
Yes.
we are doing. They observe more rather
Mhm.
than what we talk
Mm-hmm.
to them. So, if my intent is right,
Mm-hmm.
if the qualities which we want to pursue on our job is same as the qualities which I want to pursue as a mother,
Mm-hmm.
as a wife, or as a sister, in whichever role I am, I think it is in sync. There's no need to share about people, but definitely the experiences can be shared.
And honestly speaking, the internet lately looks very different today. It seems more dangerous and scary. Earlier, we used to be worried about a man following us, but now we are more worried about AI faking our voices or even deep faking our photos.
True.
How do you think you get to know about this even much before we get to know? So, what do you have to say about this, the AI coming up to the women?
That's a peril which we have to face. Um, there's not much what we can do about whatever fake comes. But only thing is, we have to be self-educated.
Mm-hmm.
We should know the process of checking whether it's fake or not,
Mm-hmm.
and we should not be worried about.
But
Yes,
AI is
no, we
so
should not
apt.
be. We should not be worried about the fact that if I haven't actually done it,
Okay.
it starts there,
Okay.
not about how I am being faked.
Okay.
Uh, there's so many incidents, cases, every now and then that they say that this is even leave celebrities, even
Hmm.
for a very common
Yes.
person.
I think they are the ones who are most affected also.
Yes. No, it's not like that. Not that they are most affected. It is about it all directly proportional to your popularity consciousness,
Yes.
isn't it? And number one. Number two is your ignorance. I think both you have to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Your popularity consciousness by means of profession or by means of if a profession demands you to be that way,
Mm-hmm.
of course you will be that way. You will be seen everywhere, and there is a
Mm-hmm.
chance that such things can happen. And
Okay.
number two, ignorance. If you are not aware of such things can happen. These two things, I think we have to be very self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it takes time to settle down still
Mm-hmm.
for some more, maybe a year or more,
Mm-hmm.
um, of how deep, how wide, and how impactful we are
Mm-hmm.
able to spread this particular message in the society.
Okay.
That deep fakes can affect you, and how actually you have to thwart and all that. We
Mm-hmm.
have started our journey.
How is the awareness of this deepfake in villages?
I should say it isn't there much.
Okay.
And um, that's what ignorance prevails.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, uh, leave the deep fake. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even aware of my rights properly.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to vote, I'm being bought with money. That itself shows that I'm not conscious about the right,
True.
where I can protect my money as
Mm-hmm.
a taxpayer,
Mm-hmm.
where I can protect my own integrity
Mm-hmm.
as a citizen of a particular country, with
Correct.
whatever belief system I have and all
Mm-hmm.
that. When I am into such a world where I can be swayed by what I see on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
fake or fake
Mm-hmm.
through AI is one such means
Mm-hmm.
where it shatters you
Mm-hmm.
only under two circumstances, basically popularity, number two, ignorance.
Okay. Now I have a question to this. If somebody's photo is deepfake and God forbidden, she wakes up knowing that she's been the chosen one for this, what is the first thing that she needs to do? Because we know panicking is the first thing.
There are various methodologies to check up whether it is a
Mm-hmm.
deep fake.
Okay.
And maybe one should be educated about it. How
Mm-hmm.
I have to know whether I am faked.
Okay.
And then is a reporting mechanism.
Okay, but how do we report? Are in cities it's not easy to report a case.
Is it so?
It is.
Not at all. I don't think so. Even when it comes to law enforcement mechanism,
Mhm.
when you report such things, you have to report through the portal which is already available,
Okay.
and it will be saved. There's no
Okay.
need that there is a very fit process into this.
Okay.
I report it on the portal, on the cybercrime
Mhm.
portal, and it will be looked into. Within
Okay.
24 hours, you will get back.
Okay.
It's not very difficult, but
Mhm.
only thing is you should know and you should trust it.
Okay.
The fact is, for example, 100, I have to trust it. When I have a preconceived notion that it won't work, you will never use it.
Mhm. So there is also a huge debate about Indian movies, about romanticizing and stalking. We see that in the movies it's shown that a hero is following a girl and a no from her is how he tries to threaten her by self harm, and that is showed as passionate love. In your police files, how is that actually being treated?
It is not like a crime.
Mm-hmm.
You are swayed by when somebody is after you for a certain reason, and when you number one is your right to say no at any point of time, isn't it?
Yes.
Your right to move away from that particular thing at any point of
Mm-hmm.
time, and which has to be understood on the other side, and it cannot be kept as a grouse,
Mm-hmm.
provided
Mm-hmm.
the start of that particular relationship, the terms have to be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Why you are getting in touch with somebody, or why you are if it is one sided, yes, definitely it's a crime.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is two sided,
Mm-hmm.
what were the expectations on both sides also matter, is what I.
Correct.
And don't say that it only affects women. It does affect
It does.
both.
It definitely
It
affects men
both.
also.
It affects both. So now when it comes to educated classes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you be very clear about why you are entering into a particular contact, expecting what, whether it is professional, out of profession, personal, relation, friends, neighborhood, subordinates, and dependents, whatever it is for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
That clarity consciousness has to set in between a male and a female.
Okay.
Um,
But I have a tough question now. Amongst this, if there is one who commits suicide, what is the
if a
procedure?
male commits a
Yes,
suicide.
could be a male or a female.
Okay. There is a clear clause in the crime that
Mhm.
immediate circumstances which would have provoked to do that. Unless you prove that immediate circumstances so and so have driven for that particular immediate circumstances, I can do I can do 1,000 allegations. That's a different thing.
Correct.
But you have to prove yourself that immediate circumstances have led to that kind of a decision. Unless you prove that, I think it remains an allegation itself.
Okay.
It will have a mental bearing on you, but not a legal bearing.
Okay. There's nothing legality that can be
Yes,
done. on
unless
this. Mm.
you are very damn sure of proving that these circumstances have led to that.
Okay. This is a very
We
common
have
thing.
seen so many suicides.
Yes, we have. We have
Even in
recently seen
Bollywood.
one, and that's why in real, and that's why this question came up. So I thought I'll just
And
bring
see,
it
a
up.
teacher goes, admonishes a child, and the child goes and commits a suicide. Teacher admonishes the way the teacher behaves with every child, for example.
Mm-hmm.
The way teacher puts down on a particular child, what is the intent behind it? Is there any mens rea that a teacher is after only a particular child?
Mm-hmm.
And is it a very continuous phenomena? All these things are matter of an investigation, where I think it have to be proved. If you have to be a culprit and you have driven to that particular suicide.
Okay. We see that almost every single woman is on Bumble, Hinge, Tinder. dating apps have become the new normal. Even if a woman is stepping out with a stranger at a cafe, it feels scary. So, do you think there are any SOPs which would standardize the Tinder app, the three non-negotiable safety tips that you would want to suggest?
Yeah, number one is when you are placing yourself on a dating app,
Hmm.
um, you should be very clear of the purpose.
Hmm.
So there is always a risk of you being you cannot say that my purpose is something and I'm doing something else. It should be in sync.
Okay.
So you should be prepared to take that risk. That is
Okay.
number one. And once you are taking that risk, you also should know how to mitigate that risks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I have put up my profile.
Mm-hmm.
I am being in touch with XYZs.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the women, they try to get in touch physically
Mm-hmm.
and they extend it beyond the purpose for which they are on the app.
Okay.
Not only vice versa.
Vice versa. Huh?
Yes. So you have to clearly draw the line for that mitigation.
Mm-hmm.
And number three, when it crosses certain levels, you should overcome that fear to report. And you should know whether you are being trafficked. You should be aware of it, whether it is very personal or you are being a part of a trafficking setup, because that's also very common. Suppose I get into something which is porno as to just kill my time,
Mm-hmm.
and later I see somebody doing it continuously only to earn, and somebody enjoying it much, I feel that I also can get my own reasons in my life will make me travel towards it when I feel alone,
Mm-hmm.
when I really want, when I feel that life is very boring, when I want something different in life. These are the reasons, right? Why I
Yes.
get onto this. And when I feel that I have to be with the flow,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and when I have money to spend, or when I can cheat people and also do.
Mm-hmm.
So these are, and bigger thing is that you are part of a bigger nexus called the, I mean, trafficking apps,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're very young. That is one. Number two, when you travel from a very an unknown place to an unknown place,
Mm-hmm.
when you don't know how things work out for you, except that you know the place where you should go, whom you should go, with very minimal details, and still you take the risk. I think local apps, whatever are there, safety tips, I think you should be well aware of it.
But women, after a certain point, when they decide to get out of the app, they might think that it was just the fraction of the moment I got hooked to it. By then, they are already trapped.
Yes.
What would you suggest to such women?
I don't think everybody gets trapped. Even if you think that you get trapped, there are ways to come out. You have to be bold enough when you. It is an app at the end of the day. It is for the sensual pleasure that you have joined. You have to be very clear that it is for the sensual pleasure you were there.
Somebody might just get in just to get the feel of it. They really don't know, they're not even aware of how the app needs to be used.
I don't think so. Knowing, maybe they don't know the process of usage, but the purpose of app, without knowing it, nobody enters into it. Only thing is, the moment they enter, they may want to quit. That's a different thing. For such people only, I've told all these tips.
Okay.
Those who are neck deep into it, they have
That
to
there is
par
no
karna hi
alternative,
padta.
yes. Okay. We all carry this supercomputers with us called the phones.
Yes.
So one setting that
Not
our
supercomputer, super companion.
super companions, yes. So one setting that our iPhone or Android phone has, which we ignore but must be used as a safety tool.
I think uh, two-factor authentication,
Okay.
maybe iris
iRetina. Okay.
into every app.
Okay.
and the tested apps. I think this is the
Mhm.
best way of protecting yourself.
Mhm. But in spite of that, also we see
Well,
a
that's
lot of scam
in
happening.
the present
Mhm.
circumstances. I think
Mhm.
you have to read the terms and conditions well
Mhm.
when you follow or
Mhm.
hook onto a certain app.
There's a stereotype that only elderly people or villages are scammed. But we see that a lot of techies, doctors, CEOs are the biggest victims of this cybercrime now. Why are smart people fooled? And they are falling for it.
Basically, it's a greed.
Mhm.
Greed is a common factor for everybody. Neither villager, not educated, isn't it? The shortest means of getting something makes
Uh-huh.
us, isn't it?
Greed,
Where
yes, but a lot of people, like I would repeat this
number
again.
one is greed, number two is ignorance.
Mhm. How
And
do we?
ignorance is
Mhm.
not about no, getting educated, right?
Mhm.
It's not about you being a professor, you being an all India service officer, or a scientist.
Mhm.
It is about how um, the very scam works.
Mhm.
It's all psych based, psychology
Mhm.
based. If you understand that,
Mhm.
I think most of the times, and regular phenomena like unknown numbers, unknown IDs, unknown websites, unknown calls. I
Mhm.
think you can actually, most of the phones scan it now if it's a spam and all that.
Correct. But now we also have a lot of international calls that come in and which ends up in scam.
It is, yeah, it is, but it can be converted into spam. There
Mhm.
are many ways how you can look it as a spam, which is a
So,
regular call and which is a
mhm.
spam.
So we are not well aware of
It is
things
all
that are
awareness. It is
happening.
all about awareness.
Mhm.
More and more awareness because technology is much faster pace it grows
Yes.
rather than the pace
Mhm.
at which I learn things, isn't
Mhm.
it? That gap is always there.
Yes, but how do we try and build that gap at least to the minimal level?
It is about, the medium which we use to spread this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need to tell a woman um, which is in trend in the market,
Correct.
isn't it?
You don't
You
have
don't
to.
need to tell them to go to a
Mm-hmm.
particular website or a particular online
Mm-hmm.
shop or a particular place,
Mm-hmm.
given your budget.
Mm-hmm.
So it need not, how are they marketing it? It
Mm-hmm.
is again the psych.
Also, it's
The
the.
maximum number of
Mm-hmm.
people are in this particular bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So I can spend, may say, 20,000 a month on these things.
Mm-hmm.
And entire setup of YouTubers, everybody
Mm-hmm.
hinges onto this particular bracket of the people.
Okay.
Same thing the scammer does.
Is it
The
also
scamster
people?
also does the
Uh,
same thing. That this is a retired
mm-hmm.
retired couples batch.
Okay.
It is a batch which is very work oriented and they don't know anything other than their work, like a scientist, say
Correct.
teachers, and this a regular bracket of people
Mm-hmm.
who can be scammed. That is two. Number three is most importantly the policy itself.
Mm-hmm.
It is not restricted to our country, our place. Most of the time, the servers are outside,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go undetected.
Correct.
And we are not aloof in this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, everywhere in the world, is facing this. Whether it is US, whether it's Australia or India,
Correct.
the
So
same.
there is no end to this.
There's no end. The only thing is
Mm-hmm.
precautious. You have to be take lot of precautions,
Mm-hmm.
and more be aware of what are the latest ways of scamming people.
Okay.
And I have phone. I watch Insta, or I watch XYZ's, whatever I like, Snap.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I have to watch for 3 hours, I watch 2 hours, 59 minutes. At
Okay.
least 1 minute I have to think about my own, that
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance that I will fall into a particular trap and I need to be aware of it.
Okay.
That is one. It's like an insurance. I
Hmm.
will always believe I will never need insurance.
Yes. So true.
Hmm.
You So you think that it's awareness that even we should create from our
Yes, we have to be literate about being aware.
own. Okay. You
Literacy
are
for awareness.
you are a big advocate for parenting. You believe in parents should be more involved with their kids when it comes to digital drives, digital lives. You being your mom yourself, how do you navigate that? How, knowing teenagers hate involvement and they want their privacy, how do you navigate that at your house?
It depends on the ages again.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, maybe if they're in teens, early teens, and all that, you can still have a mirror on your phone and then keep watching. And even that, many teenagers don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Even that's one way where you can lock, parental lock, XYZs, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they get traumatized if you do that.
Yeah.
Very natural. And those days are gone when you can say that you restrict phone for 2 hours, you restrict phone for 1 hour. It looks very impractical
Yes.
because they read on that, they do work on that, they do projects on that, everything goes on that. So
True.
naturally, the other things also go on that.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way is you have to listen to them when they tell about what's going on in their own apps. They talk all nonsense, which seems nonsense to us because we have crossed all those stages. When they talk about silly things, I think we have to be very enwrapped in listening to what they say about. I think that builds a lot of trust in them. They tell about the latest technologies also. They tell about how they are better users than others. In that process, you have to be a smart parent. That's all.
Uh-huh.
And if not last, I think we should get not that we should not caution them, but when something happens to very near and dear around them, that is an indicator when we can caution. But without an experience, we can never caution them. Either self experience or experience of others, which they have to be directly visible, which will make them be a bit, cautious about themselves.
Okay.
More than this, I think
There's
we
nothing.
can't avoid them either using apps. And of course, 2-3% of the children are very well aware. They are very focused. They know how to manage their time and all that. But in general, I do what others do. Not that I want to do, I am dragged to do so. For example, my friend who is more popular than me puts something which is really very attractive on Snap. I should work to put something better than that, isn't it?
Very true.
Then it is about the balance of time, right? If you set certain priorities very well for the children. For example, what my husband does is he breaks all tasks of 1 month into 3 weeks.
Okay.
4 weeks. Every week, day-wise tasks. And once they accomplish, he just keeps on ticking. He doesn't talk.
Okay.
And after 1 week, he says 100% achieved. That itself makes them that, yes, next time I should not be less than 100%. You don't speak, you just visual effects.
Visualization.
Something you have to be smarter.
Yes. One last question. Most of us would have seen these awful videos about women being harassed in public, and there are people around filming her rather than helping. If I see something legally happening and I go out for help, would the police support me or would I be in trouble?
Absolutely, police will support you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fear of the image of the police most of the times which will not make citizens come forward.
Yes.
Maybe it is more work on our side that we have to shelve certain image of ours which is not required for the citizens to actually look into. But those who have directly countered or helped or be with the police are definitely happy and satisfied, as even the studies show. Only thing is, more and more should have time, should have intent, should give a try and see is what I can say in a populous country like India.
One last one. In our country, how do we get gender inclusivity?
I think dowry. Dowry has to be removed.
Mm-hmm.
And see, now every girl maybe at least in urban areas, every third woman is trying to earn, whether it is in a, say, in an organized or an unorganized sector. But still, the fact that they are empowered financially is not making them socially empowered to the extent we want. I mean, the pace at which we want.
Correct.
And that's because society is expecting the girls to mellow down rather than boys to change
Exactly.
faster. So that balance has to be struck.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, girls will be successful when they are successful as mothers, when they're successful as leaders in all the aspects society can see. I think this is a settling down process. But for that, one single formula is first, girls have to be united.
True.
All girls have to be united. And as a mother, my value system should be same as my mother-in-law, as a mother-in-law in me.
True. I get that.
As a daughter, I should, how I expect to be looked up as a daughter, I should also expect the daughter-in-law also should be looked up to.
Very true.
That kind of unity is what I think is required.
I think slowly and steadily we'll
It
get
is.
there.
It
as
is.
the
It is
generation
happening.
changing.
It is happening, and women are smarter nowadays. Yes, I think we will.
One message that you would want to give to the women.
We are amazing, and I think this is a century for women. So,
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was wonderful talking to you. I really had good time getting knowledge from you. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.